Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have finally made it to Super Bowl 58 after a long, and when I mean long, it felt like this season has been long. But without further ado, let's get ready for Super Bowl 58. Now I know it's probably not the Super Bowl most of us anticipated based upon the script that we all thought. But without further ado, let's go ahead and discuss this previous Sunday's matchup, which are the Baltimore Ravens against the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions against the 49ers. Now we'll go ahead and start off with the first game Sunday, which was the Ravens versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs came to handle some business, and they let it be known that first drive was a statement to the Baltimore Ravens that, hey, we're here. We're going to take care of business, and we're the ones who are supposed to go to the Super Bowl, no matter if we're the so-called villain or if we're the underdog. And Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes were able to catch the Baltimore Ravens defense in man coverage, which is why they were able to get that penalty to set them up in the red zone. Then the next play, Patrick Mahomes was able to hit Travis Kelce on Hamilton for a touchdown, which made the statement within this game. Now, besides this first drive, this was a game really dictated by that line of scrimmage. Now, you really could see how this swayed the course throughout the game. You really saw during that first drive that the Kansas City Chiefs O-line was imposing their will on the Ravens defensive line. You really saw them move them up off the ball to create space and to get a touchdown. One of the touchdowns was with Pacheco, and you really could see on that line of scrimmage with the offensive line, they were able to move them to get him in the end zone, which all in all was pretty impressive given how stacked and stout the Ravens defensive line and overall defense is. And the other crazy aspect of it too is the Chiefs defense was causing so much pressure with just rushing four guys. Now, don't get me wrong, they came with some blitzes, heating up Lamar as well, but some of the pressure that they had really came from just four guys rushing in the pocket, and they were still causing havoc to Lamar, which caused a lot of, problems. Now, we'll get into that in a second, but it did definitely shake things up with just rushing four guys. Now, to say the least, on the Ravens side, this was actually kind of surprising considering what, us as the viewer, people who break it down, people who love the game of football, that this is the game plan they were kind of going with. They didn't show us what we pretty much have seen all year. They're going to run the ball at you. They're going to hit you in the mouth. That type of style of football. They kind of shied away from it. I believe everybody's been saying they've only ran the ball like 6 times throughout the game, which is crazy given that they have a good systematic run game in that offense. When you really look at this team, they can do it. Now, when they did run the ball, they came at you with power, and what happened? Lamar was able to pop through, get some good amount of yards. Gus Edwards did the same thing when they were in power as well. So what's really surprising is what is really going on? Why aren't they running the ball as much as we typically have seen them do? And on top of this, it really seemed like the Kansas City Chiefs were able to anticipate that they're probably going to switch up their run game based upon probably the critics. The critics are always saying Lamar can't do this, Lamar can't do that. They probably anticipated this and read it all the way down to like the last second of the game, that they're probably going to switch up the game plan. They're anticipating he's probably going to throw more, hold the ball longer, just stay in the pocket a little bit longer instead of breaking free, making plays downfield, doing what we know Lamar is capable of doing, being Lamarkable. And the thing about it is Lamar wasn't going based off of instinct that we typically have known him to be. If he's getting pressure, if there's, havoc going on in the pocket, he's going to get out, make some plays with his legs, get that first down or that touchdown, make a play downfield. We typically didn't see that in this game, which is the most surprising thing about it. He stayed within the pocket, trying to make something shake, trying to make something happen downfield. But Chiefs defense was actually locking up the receivers, which made it difficult to even convert a pass. So it was just kind of surprising to see that Lamar didn't get out of the pocket and make something happen with his own leg. And on top of this, we didn't even see much of Odell till like the fourth quarter, which is still surprising too. It's just like, what was the overall game plan? Why did the game plan switch? We wanted to see y'all hit them in the mouth because we know y'all had the team to beat them. Y'all had the roster. Y'all had everything to do to beat them. So it just raises an eyebrow of like, what was going on? But when they did get in rhythm, it was 2 plays that really kind of set them back. Obviously I know everybody's already talked about it, scrutinized, criticized, but Zay Flowers, showboating, flexing a little bit. And then the play that also affected right after that was his fumble in the red zone, getting close to the goal line, which he probably would have scored. Those were two probably game-changing plays that if didn't happen, things might have shifted a little bit better. Now I take that back. There was another play that probably shifted the game as well, which was Lamar interception. He was looking for Likely, but he was in triple coverage. Now that was also surprising that Lamar did as well, given that how much improvement he's done throughout the season. Now it's still surprising that Lamar even threw that, even though Likely, raised his hands that he's open, given that he's in triple coverage. He may not have been able to see it, but I'm pretty sure Lamar could have seen that he was in triple coverage. Overall, at the end of the day, the Chiefs looked comfortable. They did what they did. They do what they normally do, stick to what they know. Patrick Mahomes was out there 30 of 39 with passing attempts. Meanwhile, Lamar was 20 of 37 in passing attempts. So it really goes to show you that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and the Chiefs, they stick to what they know, and they're going to beat you with, how they operate. The basics, the simple stuff. No matter if they have to play the villain, no matter if they are finally the underdog, they're gonna prove that, hey, we can still beat you with what we got, no matter what happens, no matter who we got. It doesn't really matter. Now let's switch gears to the heavyweight match of the night. Now I love Dan Campbell. This man is something serious, and I'll play for him. They had an impressive, and I'm very serious about an impressive first half, really taking it to the 49ers, taking it on. Hey, we may be the underdogs. We're gonna run that down your throat. That first half was impressive. They started off them first couple drives hitting some outside zone, getting big Frank Ragnow out in space, leading to some big plays, which also led to some touchdowns. I've always said it. You love to see it. You just love to see it. But at the end of the day, it is the 49ers we are talking about here. They're gonna match that intensity. They're not gonna go out like that. Given everything that they've gone through this season, the close games, the losses, they're not gonna go out like that. At the end of the day, this game really came down to two plays, if we're being completely honest. Brandon Ayuk's fluke catch off of the Lions DB's helmet would set them up for a touchdown, which Brandon caught later. Then the unfortunate event of Jahmyr Gibbs fumbling, which really set the tone for the rest of the night. The 49ers scored off of that drive. This is really what changed the course of the game. And the crazy part about it is we even saw Brock Purdy making plays with his legs. We haven't seen that much at all, but he's out there making plays with his legs, downfield, getting the first down. Like I said, they matched the intensity. They came to play, and they weren't gonna go out like that. But personally, my only issues that I personally saw with the Detroit Lions is how in the second half they stepped away a little bit from the run game. They kind of like shifted away from that. Now I know a lot of people have spoken about it, but it's actually true, because look at what they were able to do in the first half. Look what all they were able to accomplish, really catching the 49ers defense off balance, really sticking it to them, pressuring them, putting the pressure on them, and dominating the line of scrimmage. That's what they really should have stuck with, because then it opens up things down the road, which we've seen the Lions do over and over again. They love to do the play action pass, and because they run the ball so well, the play action just opens wide up for them in the long run. And on top of that, you still had two other controversy calls if you should throw it on that 3rd and goal situation instead of running the ball, burning that timeout, and then before that, kicking the field goal to put them in another situation, put them in a different type of situation. But at the end of the day, I still rock with Dan Campbell. I believe no matter how the season finished for them, the Lions really had a successful season. This was, very surprising, given that how they started this season, the couple shakeups throughout the season, and how they ultimately finished. This season was a success, and I really hope that they can, bounce back and eventually get to the Super Bowl, because they're a really fun team to watch. Like, given that everything they have, the rebuilding, the players that they were able to get in this draft, they are a fun team to watch. Now, in a couple weeks, we get the big matchup of Super Bowl 58 featuring the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll see who pulls it off. Will Mr. Irrelevant be able to get his first ring and raise the bar for the title of Mr. Irrelevant, or will Patrick Mahomes get one step closer to chasing GOAT status passing up Tom Brady. This has been yours truly over at Mike in the Game. Let me know what your thoughts are on both of these games and the Super Bowl coming up. We're all excited for it. Well, we still got to be excited, even though this ain't the teams we anticipated. You know, we still got to be excited for it. But let me know down in the comments what you think. Stay tuned for the Super Bowl. Come on, we still got to keep that excitement. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.